What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of the Universim Season 4 1.0 release. So straight into this Celestial Alchemix. I have no idea what this... Well, I know what it's supposed to do. I can't get it to work. I think maybe I need to do it on a alien planet, not the starting planet. It doesn't seem to show any resources to mine, so what I'm going to do is actually knock that down, try and build it elsewhere, and see what we can do from there. This episode is likely to go back to normal, thankfully, in terms of timing, but there is a lot of new things unlocked in this episode that I'm very excited to show you, including new resources and destroying my very first planet. Just making sure the research does continue. There's still a lot to do. We're not all the way out of the woods yet, although we are now traveling the solar system. By the end of this episode, I believe we'll have colonized or been to at least 3 or 4 planets. So there's still a lot to learn. Obviously, these upgrades will make things better and hopefully quicker. Specifically, the transportation pods that allow you to move resources around your planets and moons. I really would like that to speed up because it's proving to make recording very difficult. In that I have to record for like half an hour or 45 minutes to get the resources enough there that I want and then start recording again. So see how it goes. It's not terrible, but it's certainly it's not as good as the one before Alpha, but it's still better than doing it any other way, right? So over to the new planet, and you can see we are making progress here. We have infrastructure. We have 44 nuggets, and all the buildings required to do what we need. What we don't have is educated nuggets. So although we have 44 nuggets, none of them are educated. That is because I didn't put any universities down. And the nuggets are dying over time, breeding, but they're not able to get educated. So we've run out of them, and we basically need that to run nearly every building. So I'm building universities, which aren't too difficult to build. The problem is you can't run a university without educated nuggets. So what I'm going to do is send over a nice big batch of, I think 20 or 25, I can't remember, new nuggets from the home planet, from Alpha Planet. Basically knowing that most of these, if not all of these, should be or will be educated, because pretty much everybody on that planet is educated, because we've got like 20 universities. So once they arrive, all of these buildings will kick in. But what I will do is put the first straight into the universities. Then we won't have this problem again. I'll also use the youngest to make sure that we have professors for as long as possible. Again, moving forward, so that that problem hopefully won't arise again. We can see that the terraformers are definitely doing work. Again, all they require is power and fuel and chemicals. Well, and technically water, right? And also nuggets. But anyway, that's made it sound a lot more complicated than it is. The other stuff's quite simple to come by. It's the fuel and the chemicals that you won't have on the planet that you'll have to ship in. The rest of it you should have infrastructure for. I've got 2. They're working nicely. The good thing about them is when they're finished, and you will see it in this episode, when they're finished, they're done. You can then rip them down. They don't need to be required again. Once it's got the planet stable, they turn off, and you can put them nuggets to other uses, rip the buildings down, and use them resources elsewhere. But in the meantime, you have to keep chucking all of them resources in it to get this planet. Now, remember, this planet was minus or negative 200 plus. It's now looking at about 37. Obviously, it depends on what time of year it is. That does make a difference, of course. But we do have decent creator points coming in, as you can see. So we can skip to spring and summer should we need to make things better. You can see it's giving me a warning saying I don't have any educated nuggets. So what we're going to have to do is wait until they arrive. And here we are trying to get a nice little cinematic view there for you of the 20 nuggets arriving. You can see plenty of educated there. So straight over to the university and getting them stocked up straight away. I am putting older ones in there than I probably should. Really, I should be concentrating on the youngest to make them live longer. Just popping in now to update yet another request for a nugget for Solrim. So Solrim adding you here to the next eldest of the Highlanders, and Hearted as well. So thank you very much for your support. There you go. Just having a quick look now. You can see on the screen all of the Hearted viewers that have been requested. If any have died or are missing, because it's getting a bit difficult for me to recap, just let me know, or we can make another one. Entirely up to you. Take your pick. Hearts there. I can actually search it by heart, so it makes it easy to see. There we go. So Sam saw him. Sky Fury, Joanne, Loki, Ricky the Boys, G, Tina, Stefan, Danny, and Hilda. Thank you very much. And yes, even on the old cold planet, I say old cold, it's not, it's new cold, but old cold rhymes. Anyway, you still need parks, so there are some parks being built, and all of the parks that you get unlocked from the quests and stuff where you're allowed to build 5 or 10 or etc. Remember, they are reset on each planet, and that also includes your town hall, your weather station, etc, etc. So make sure you do build them, especially your town hall, because you want to get the ministers doing the work for you, or at least some of it. They're not good enough to actually just manage the planet themselves, but what they are good at is getting down buildings to try and keep up with the demand, and that be food and water, which is critical. Also, I'm having to do a hydro collider on my main planet because the creator points and rain are not cutting it anymore for keeping that main lake full of water. And I noticed this landing terminal that I didn't really think about, and it's the landing terminal for the mini-me, as I'm calling it, for the Planet Destroyer, or as it's actually called, the Planet Cracker. At this point, I'm just curious as to what it means and where it is, because after we kind of completed the game, so to speak, on the last episode, I wondered where it went. However, these do work. You will get it back, and it is insanely good. You will see at the end of the episode, it's so much fun. You get to destroy planets and actually get resources for the privilege, so I can't argue with that. Free resources and getting to destroy planets. So if a planet's no good or you don't want to go there, you just take the mini-me over there and rip the planet to pieces, while at the same time getting resources. Realising that the resources to build that, however, are slim on planet 2, I've also jumped back to Alpha Planet, the first planet, and I'm going to put one here in the space area next to the Cosmodrome and the shipping systems, also along the harvester machine as well, that I can't figure out how to work. I guess if I build it on an alien planet, we'll be able to harvest something, and I will be doing that likely in the next episode. And here we go, back over to planet 2, the first new planet, the cold planet that you all requested. And I'm going to say, with an achievement there of the Frosty transformation, I beat your challenge. The cold planet is no longer cold. It is perfectly set up to survive on. Temperatures as normal, 33 degrees. The 2 terraformers task is done. You can see they have stopped and turned off. So we can now kick the people out of them and destroy them and get the resources back. We now have 2 planets. This one being the second, that is fully survivable. We don't need the ship. We don't need the spacesuits. So GG to us on our first planet. Fixing, if you want to call it that. Fixing or repairing. However you want to call it. But anyway, from a block of ice to a beautiful alien planet. No fauna as of yet. Well, fauna is technically wrong because there is plants. No animals yet. Just having a look at resources now on the planet. I don't know how to look for how much iron, gas, oil, etc. there is. Just as like a one-click button, so I'm having to go through the machines. The buildings. It does work. There's not loads, but it didn't say there was loads. It said small anyway on this planet for some reason after we actually loaded into it. And I don't really require it. The main planet's keeping us supported for now. I need to get a spaceport built on this planet, and then we can set up full automations. The idea being that the nanobots that we haven't tried yet, and of course the nuggetoids, what I want to do, or I would like to do, is colonate a planet solely with robots, no nuggets at all. Well, you need to send 5, so that's incorrect. So we'll send 5 nuggets, and then the rest will be loads of robots, hopefully, like 20, 30 nuggetoids, and see how that goes. Something I want to try. If you've already tried that and it works or doesn't work, let me know, please. But anything else, you'll find out soon. Just destroying the space shuttle there. Now the planet is safe, and that turns into the evolution tower, which allows us to have a leader of the planet. So with the leader and with the town hall and all of the ministers, this planet can be left to its own devices to a point. And then jumping back, I actually missed the launch, so apologies for that, or I can't seem to find the video, even though I'm sure I was recording it. But anyway, we did in fact move to the moon. The reason I chose the moon and didn't put a poll up was simple. Even though the poll was closed and the cold planet was the clear winner, people had still continued to vote, and the moon took over the cold planet quite significantly. So what I thought was, why not? So I'll go to the moon. This is where you're supposed to go anyway, because it's where you get the second part to do the quest, though I didn't need to do that for whatever reason. Still yet to establish an answer for that. But obviously when I do the next playthrough, we'll do it that way anyway. I won't click that button just to make sure that we don't actually accidentally cheese it to an ending. But regardless, we're now on the moon as well. Now the moon, I don't need terraformers. I've managed to colonize the moon using creator powers, trees and water in the past. I'm hoping that that will work as well, with the temperature not being a problem. We will see. If I need one, I can build one, but for now I'm not going to bother. I want to... There is going to be a poll that you will have already seen, I expect, on the community page of my YouTube channel, showing the options for our next colonization, or the next challenge you want to set me, and that is hot, crystal, or polluted, poison, whatever you want to call it. So that'll be going up there. I will put cold again, just in case you want to see two colds. Probably, I don't know, depends what you like, and you guys decide. Whatever wins at the time that I'm recording will be the one that I go to. I've taken the challenge of the cold planet and I beat it. We've started with our first planet. We're now on the moon just because it's the moon, right? I want to colonize it. I don't believe it's too difficult. In fact, I'm expecting it to be the easiest, but who knows. Also, destroying planets. I want to know whether destroying small and large planets gives you more or less resources. I think it's obvious, but I want to actually prove that. Here is our top up of nuggets, because apparently some of them died or something happened while I was away, and I'm down to 2. So we'll get them dropped off, and that'll add another 20 to the population, I believe. 25? 25 because one died, yeah. So we'll get them back up and running. Obviously, what I didn't really think was there's not actually enough work for them to do, so they're just going to rip down all them trees I've just planted. But it doesn't matter. They could put the wood in storage anyway. It's not the end of the world. And eventually we'll get them out doing stuff. We've got to try and get the unobtainium and then get it shipped back to whichever planet I'm going to build the Nuggetoid factory at. Likely the main one for ease, but we'll see. And then, of course, that gives us an amount of Nuggetoids to use as we please. I think I've about finished with the upgrades. There's probably just a couple more to go. So the moon is coming along slowly but surely. I'm happy with it. Obviously, it's a lot easier than the other one. We've not got the temperature to contend with, so we've got water straight away just by making it rain. Trees are growing and being cut down again. With creative points coming in, it's relatively simple. I'm happy to sort of just let it do its own thing as long as they've got enough food and water. They shouldn't die. There's no reason for them to. And then with the points, the creative points coming in, I'll use them to just keep chucking trees down. At the point that you get the trees at the sort of 70% mark for the moon, you'll find that the atmosphere will kick in. And we should be okay. If I need a terraformer, I will use one to speed it up, but I don't believe I will, to be honest. Another achievement here for those that are interested is thirsty. Drain a lake totally dry. Now, the minister has obviously put a water pump. You can see the state of this lake. It's just crazy. But that's not the one. Has put a water pump elsewhere here, and it's drained it dry. So that's the thing. Luckily, it's only a tiny one, 2,700 in total, so a couple of rain clouds will fill that up, no problem whatsoever. But it was nice to get the achievement at the very least. So you can see I've got the Planet Cracker UI open there. The options are to select where you want to send him, and we'll get to that shortly. Okay, so we have the platform. We have the Planet Cracker Mini-Me on said platform. We can now choose where we want to send him, and I'm not sending him there because the crystal planet is actually somewhere that I want to try out, and it will be in part of the poll. But I want to go for a planet that's probably cold because we've done that already, and I doubt that that will be voted as an option since we've already done it. So the first planet I find, this one, rich in ores, medium-sized and slightly cold into the Ice Age. So we'll send him there. And off he goes, flying into outer space. Takes a minute to arrive. Of course, we're in slow motion at the minute because I've not got it in double speed like I normally have. It's in standard speed, so it will literally take that amount of time to arrive. But we can jump over there early anyway. Leaving the platform, as we've seen, and then you can see there's actually a nuclear power plant in the background. Don't believe I built that. I think that's been built by the minister, if I'm honest. Our power's looking okay, though, so I'm not too worried. And then I put in couriers, 3 of them, outside of this platform because it holds 10,000 units as a storage, and I think it will get very busy as we move forward. So it's a very, very large, powerful storage capability, and I think we need to use that. Nuclear power plant here, I'm just going to put in, say, 3 people. It'll be about 300 or so, 350 power, I think, just to get that number a little bit less. I'm not interested about it going up in positives because we've got 2,000 stored, just to give it a little bit of a boost, really. So here we go. You can see we can fly to that planet now that the planet cracker has arrived. So just shooting through there with the loading screen. Quicker this way than the normal way because obviously you're not loading into the map to build. This is just to use the planet cracker. Now remember, this will destroy and does destroy the planet. So do not do this if you want to use said planet. Up and arriving, we can see it's a coldish planet with a lot of polluted clouds and lakes, and then you just choose your target for where you want him to land. Another achievement there, of course, colonizing 3 planets. This is counting as colonizing even though we are not. You can see there is resources here, both unobtainium, comets, and very pretty glowing green trees. But that's not what we're here for. So going into the placket ops, you can see all of these new items. Now, rest assured, they're not actually new items. They converted, as you can see at the bottom. So the grey pylons, we get 1,500 cement and 1,500 bricks. So it's a case of going through and looking at what you actually need. Now, I go for this, the stellar crystal, which is 350 glass and 300 or so fuel. There are some items that are 0 and some are all different numbers, so you need to establish which one's the most and what you get, and just decide for yourself what you actually need. Each planet will be different, but I want the fuel and the glass. I actually want the fuel, but the glass is nice to have as a backup. So is the electronic components and chemicals, to be honest, but for now we will go for the fuel and glass. So we've told him that's what we want him to mine. He's going to go now and find that and mine it. So I'm not sure how it depicts where it is. It doesn't show you or anything like that. He just walks over to it. And then when he gets to the location, you will see it will drain them resources, immediately destroying and devastating the planet to a point of no return. The atmosphere, the trees, everything is destroyed. Along with it, you get your 122 items of the fallen stars that we asked him to harvest. We then send them back to our place where we... I mean, you can send it anywhere that's got a platform, but I'm sending it back to the home planet firstly. But if you wanted them resources on one of your other planets and you had the platform, you could do so. I have got the platform being built on the second planet, but we don't have it done yet. And then landing back, as you would expect, you can see 10,000 storage there in the landing terminal. You do need to click on the planet cracker, though. You can use the icon for the UI and then just click the unload button. And you will see the resources get beamed in there. And there you can see them, 366 glass and 244 fuel. That then goes into your inventory at the bottom, as you can see, and it can be used anywhere you wish. As soon as that beam is finished, you can send them again. It doesn't require fuel that I can see. You can just go straight away. Remember, though, that the planet will totally be destroyed and it will no longer exist on your galaxy map. Just topping up the main lake again because I'm struggling keeping the water on there. I'm going to get a hydro collider on that if I haven't already, and if I have, then I need to put more. And that looks terrifying, but also excellent. So fantastic work there, very menacing. But we are at the end of the episode, so thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, please click like. As always, any comments are welcome. Subscribe for more. Take care. Goodbye.